Welcome or welcome back. This is video number 3 in the Claude Cowork for Business Owners Setup series. This one, we're going to be going over skills, and we're going to actually create a skill that I think is imperative that pretty much all business owners need, small business owners. Can you guess what it is? I'm not going to tell you yet anyway. So today we're going to be going over sort of skills 101. They're not super complex, but I really want to show you sort of the ins and outs and what they are. Then we're going to be going over how to create your first skill, and we'll walk through a demo of exactly what to click and what to give it. And by the end, we should have a skill that is very usable. And I'll give you a bit of a template that you can pull from as well. That way you don't have to start from scratch. Either way, there is a skill builder and you can start from scratch, but I'm going to make sure we don't have to invent the wheel at any point. Fingers crossed. Okay, let's dive in. So we're in Cowork just like normal. And what we're going to do is give it the context that we already set up in video number 2, where we went over the base kit. So I'm calling it clean because this is the eventual millionaire demo. And if you recall, it's got the overview documents, the ideal client profile, you can call it avatar, personas, whatever you want, but it has all of this information in it already. Now, don't get me wrong, it has some brand guidelines and information, but it doesn't really have what we're going to be working on in a second. So here we go. Let's give it access. Yes. I also want to add the project that I just created called EM Base Kit Demo. And what this project is going to have in it is exactly what I told you before. I don't know if you remember, but it's going to have instructions set up. So it has a complete session template and a new session template. So if this goes longer than one cowork session, we can wrap it up and do a lovely handoff. That being said, hopefully it'll only take one session today. We'll find out. So before we dive in too much, I'm going to walk you through a little bit more on where to find the skills because they are right here. And one of the things that I want you to recall from before is the way that I think about plugins are roles or departments in a business, and skills are literally the skill sets that that role or the person in the role would have. Right. So they do already have a handful of skill sets that are really helpful and close to the one that we're going to be creating today. But I think small business owners do it a little differently, and that's why we're going to make a custom one. So in order to go in to the skills side of things, you can see the ones that I've already created, and then you can see the ones that they're giving you examples for. So I've already created the ICP builder. When you look over here, this is all a skill is. It is literally a markdown file that explains the skill set, the how. So the way I want you to think about it is that the context, what we did last time, is the information like who and what, and then skills are the how. How do we do this? How do we teach? How do we do copywriting? That kind of stuff. Okay, so they do have a skill creator skill, and this is the one we're going to be using. You can not only create new skills, but you can modify and improve existing ones. And this is the cool thing. You can measure skill performance compared to a benchmark. So you'll actually have it run evaluations. You can test it. It'll give you either something out of 5 or a percentage, depending on how you set it up. And it's one of the best things ever because to me, a year ago, or even couple months ago, the most pain in the butt thing was trying to take the feedback and update the thing, right? It's not working perfectly. Maybe it's 90%. We know we need to evolve it and iterate, but that process was a huge pain in the butt, especially with like GPTs. Because GPTs, actually, let me see if I have it over here. Yeah, I had created a ton of GPTs. And the iterative process was kind of a pain in the butt. And so what they have instead is actual built into the skill creator how to optimize and get feedback, and it can do a lot of it itself. So as you can see, it has an eval viewer and will tell you a lot of other things. So it has an analyzer. There's a lot of different pieces to it. I highly recommend you popping around and looking through all this stuff because it's really cool. But we're not going to go too crazy deep on that. I'm going to tell you what we're actually going to create for a skill. So one of the things I think is really, really important is every business needs what they call a brand voice, what I call not a brand voice. So I call ghostwriting. So the thing is that this does have a lot of skills that you can use within the brand voice. So if you are a bigger company or if you're going straight from a brand, like you're not a personal brand, you're not a thought leader, you can totally use the brand voice setup. I'm not saying you can't. Okay. When you use the brand voice setup, you can have it discover your brand and you can walk through this. But we're going to go back here, go back one more, and we're going to use the skill creator. Okay, let's go. So previously, I had tested out some of the brand voice and it was pulling from everywhere. It was pulling from the personal brand, which is jamiemasters.com. It was pulling from Eventual Millionaire. Technically, I'm the same person, so I totally understand. And it has a lot of context for me in general, but I really wanted to keep them separate. And so the problem was that it was pulling from everywhere. And that's one of the reasons why I didn't like the brand voice one. I wanted to create my own. So I didn't just have to say, don't include this, don't include this, don't include this, because it started going crazy. Now, don't get me wrong, I could have done that, but I much prefer this method to do it cleanly. As you can see, even in creating my own one, it's pulling already. Perfect. Okay, while that's working on it, we're going to copy this one. Now, this is a video that I did. So the team structure from the team test. Perfect. And then I also really wanted to have some articles that were actually written. Now, technically, I did not write these articles. I had a ghostwriter write them, but they are much better than me when it comes to this. And so that's also why I wanted to include it. I wanted to make sure they're using a well-written Jamie voice, even if I can't write well. Okay, we're going to take two. This one's all about org charts, and that one was all about team structure. Very similar. Okay, let's see if we can hit enter now. Oh, it's already starting. Let's stop that. Nope. It already had enough context, and I'm like, no, I want mine. So normally this wouldn't happen in this way, considering it would be a new skill for you, and I should have used my Mac Mini, but I didn't, so this is what you get. I will embrace all of the errors because I'm a human, not AI. Actually, heck, AI's got tons of errors too, so I can't really say that. Perfection does not exist. Okay, lucky you. It messed up a whole bunch. So, not for any reason that would make it matter to you. You don't actually have some of the things that were making issues. And so, I will now show you how to create a new one because I just created that new session prompt, new project. Okay, so we're back. We're going to paste this new session prompt exactly like I normally do. And it's all about the ghostwriting EM skill. Yay! So one, I had given quite a bit of context, and so it was starting to have to compress things again, which took a little while. But also, it was having issues with naming conventions because I had already had a ghostwriting skill. Anyway, thankfully, you don't have to worry about that too much. And so, perfect. Yay, now it's running tests. So, a LinkedIn post. I do say, but I do get it, and I definitely say seriously. Okay, these actually aren't that bad. Now, I don't ever email my clients, but that's okay. I don't really like that, so we're gonna copy that. In general, it definitely is. Perfect. Okay. I would call the fact that I didn't like that one little thing a nitpick. Probably not worth me doing the whole thing and updating it. But the wonderful thing about this, like I was saying before, is that you can keep iterating on it. So, for example, I start using this skill and I can always separately run tests like this and add on to it. So then what I love is it grades against the assertions. That's what they call them. So this is that eval review, like we were talking about when we were looking at the actual skill set within the creating a skill. There we go. I just wanted to show you really quick the formal grades and stuff that it actually did. Yay, no instances of crush it, scale, leverage. No boss babe, perfect. Okay, and then we can actually give feedback, which I'm not going to do right now, but then it packaged the skill. I asked it to give a little bit more detail on what it's actually doing, and it presents it. Yay! Okay, now it's packaged, and we're going to install it, but this is the piece that I want you to know is that ongoing maintenance. You can upload more source material, so if I have a bunch more, or I can have my assistant do this, or VA. A VA could totally do this. Especially giving those examples that I was like, I don't like that little piece. Now I am very particular, is what I call it. Opinionated, nitpicky, but of course it's trying to match my voice. So of course I know what I like and what I don't like. Ready. Okay, this is what I was doing before too. That's always fun. Now you're gonna learn about how I troubleshoot. Okay, so what I do is I share the screenshot. Now it's doing all sorts of fun stuff. And you've heard me, Cowork is still in research mode. Ta-da! Okay, so let's try this again. Yay! Go manage our skill set. There we go. Perfect. You can download it and try it in chat. Let's go. All right, if we're really trying to get millionaire info, now, of course, I don't think that they have all the millionaire interview context. Maybe they do. The thing that I was going to do in video number 4, so stay tuned, is teach you how to make a knowledge base. Now, a knowledge base is like a database of content. It could be process, it could be millionaire interviews. Of course, I'm going to be using millionaire interviews to show you what it looks like, and we'll see if this works. The lie millionaires stopped believing. Ooh, sounds like it's got a good hook. And I didn't even give it any of that advice, so we'll see. I appreciate this one. Oh, good. I like this one. Thank goodness. All right, let's see. Ooh, this is actually good. Not that I'm surprised, but I've hired a lot of ghostwriters in the past. But thankfully, this actually has a lot of context, even without the millionaire interview pieces. But I'm pretty impressed. Now, I'm sure I could tweak it a little bit, and some of the pieces are a little generic. I would totally say that. Yep. Okay. I'm pretty impressed, actually. Let's save that for later. Great. All right. So we can use it whenever you like. It will always be under the skill side of things. Okay. And I'm going to see if actually, you know what? Let's try this really quick before I wrap up. Let's go back. Okay. So going back to the thread that has the skill, I want to make sure that we're doing this. Oh, fun. I love it when it does this too. See if we can restart it. Of course, restarting it totally works now. I can click the button. Okay. Noelle, you can leave all of that out. I mean, not Noelle, Raleigh, sorry. Awesome. Okay, so this is gonna go through and tell you all the things that needs to happen. You can definitely do it very similarly to this, but it'll walk you through exactly what it looks like. Yay! Now it should be able to do lots of this on its own, but this way you can go through the prompts and not have the issues that I had. Good luck. I hope it works out much better for you. And then next time, what we're going to be doing is creating an actual knowledge base. So we're taking all this information, we're going to be pulling out using transcripts, or you can totally use process documents that you have, employee docs like employee handbooks, HR stuff. Make sure, of course, it's not super sensitive information. But what I will do is I'll show you exactly what it looks like. So let me show you a little teaser on what the knowledge base can actually look like. So this is my coaching knowledge base, which pulls from all the advice I've given clients and puts it in different frameworks that I currently have, along with all the different types of teaching moments and sound bites. I call them soapboxes that I do as well. And it categorizes it all so we can pull from it, and it can create it as an HTML file that you can interact with, which is awesome, including my messaging pillars. Make sense? Hopefully you're excited. Fingers crossed, knock on wood. Again, it doesn't have to be this crazy. This is 1,800 content pieces, but for your processes, make sure you're coming with those things, and I'll walk you through exactly how to do that too. It's not as hard as it looks. All right. Take care and have an amazing day. Let me know if you have any other questions, especially when it comes to setting up these core skills. Take care.